Today we're drawing the X-Men. Woohoo! Hey, pew pew pew. There's Wolverine. Wolverine. Hey, here's a story about why people are fucking idiots. I think I've told this story before, but it's funny, so I'll tell it again. In primary school, in like year 3 or 4, when I was 8, maybe. During morning registration, every now and again, the teacher, to spice things up, like you do in a loveless marriage, you insert something new. Insertion into primary school, kids. What's going on? The teacher would say, like, instead, when I call your name, instead of just saying yes or here, say, your favourite food or any number or. Where you got touched by your uncle. And this one time they said, say your favourite animal. When I call your name in the register, say your favourite animal. And because I was like, I'd just learned what wolverines were as a creature. Yeah. So I was trying to be all smart and be like, I'll throw this one out there, see what old teacher thinks of that. Oh, excuse yourselves. So I... the teacher said, Ewan, and I said, Wolverine. Yeah. And then the teacher goes, not made up animals, Ewan, that's stupid, that's a comic book character. A real one, a real animal. And firstly, fuck you, if I say a Jimbawamba, if you say, name your favourite animal, and I say a Bidgie Boo Boo, and I'm 8 years old, you say, hey... Okay, that'll do. As long as I know you're here. You've said yes in the register. Okay, it's not a real animal, but whatever. You're 8. It doesn't matter. Ewan, say your favourite animal when I call you. Ewan, a squadglammer, a squidge-jammer, a bodge-blammer, a smash-hammer, a five-handed monkey bird, a rape fish, a fish that rapes... other fish. Whatever. You should say, that's fair enough. Just Ewan being Ewan. Oh, crazy little Ewan. But instead I say Wolverine, and she gets on her fucking high horse, and she would have been 30, maybe. She looked about 80, but when you're 8, everyone older than 20 looks 80. She gets on her fucking high horse at an 8-year-old, going, no, it's not a real animal, it's not a real animal. Say a real animal, Ewan. And I was like, it's a real animal. I don't know what you're... Like, it's an actual thing that exists. I wish I had Google back then. I'd whip my phone out and be like, Google, what the fuck is a wolverine? And it would go bing bing, and Google would pop up and go, here's what I've got on Wolverine. A wolverine is an animal in the... And she'd tell me all the information. I can talk to my phone. I can say, Google, make the noise of a wolverine. And it will make the noise of a wolverine. If I had that back then, I'd fucking show her. Fucking stupid idiot. Cunt. Fat piece of shit. Try to teach. And she's a teacher. She's supposed to be teaching me. She doesn't even know what a fucking wolverine is. Ignorant. Fucking whore. What a slut. Fuck that bitch. That's my experience with wolverines, which is no experience at all, really, isn't it? It's just fucking silliness. Made up. She thought it was a made up. Fuck you. If I was going to make up an animal, well, obviously I didn't. It was a comic book character, but I'd make up a better animal than a fucking wolverine. I'd make up a squid with the head of a bear that walked on land. That's cool, let's draw that. No, I can't be fucked. Hey, do you want to see something I did? I was drawing... I've been playing in my sketchbook quite a lot. Oh, it's fun to play in my sketchbook quite a lot. Wow, Ewan's got energy today. I woke up in a foul fucking mood. For no reason. For no raisins. I was paid 0 raisins, and for that I was in a foul fart of a mood. But evidently that's passed. I've drunk enough Red Bull. I've taken my Dextro Energy. I'll take another one. Give them these chalky, weird tablet things. And they give you a boost of energy. Oh, look at it, sexy. That's cool. Sun and moon. I don't know. And I drew. Hey, it's me with a giant pen. Oh, this is funny. I was thinking, you know, I've got it might be in my old this book. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. These drawings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I do a drawing like this and do about 20 pens and then circle the 15th, because then the point of it is and that's what this doodle was, it's the 15th one, because then it's pen 15, which when you write it looks like this. It looks like it says penis. So that was funny. I just thought that could be a funny piece. Like, do that. Big drawing of pens. Circle one of them. And then title the piece, Pen 15. And people would get it and be like, hey, it's the 15th pen, but it says penis. So I was just filling in gaps and shit. Here and there. Ooh, Saturn with a weird... got a little bit done on that. Ooh, that's nice. Should have done that in my pink and black sketchbook, but didn't, because I'm a fucking idiot. So I did these. I did just this one because I was just playing with shit on my desk. And I thought, hey, that's cool, I'll do another one. And another one, and I filled a page with Ed heads. Little Johnny and Plank. I don't know what the fuck all this is. And I thought, like, I'll just... Oh, shit, yeah, I did that as well. Wow, that's paint, acrylic paint. That's my Hulk action figure, but, like... Woo, yeah, bloody yeah. Smashy washy. You've seen the rest of it. So I was just drawing Ed, and Eddie stuff, just because. And I thought it'd be quite cool to do them with, like, the bright pink skin and, like, marker pens and shit. And I did this. The problem is it looks like a knockoff, like a Chinese pirated version? Bootleg, that's the word I was looking for. A bootleg, Chinese bootleg version of Ed, and Eddie. You know, if you see like a t-shirt or something, like a bootleg t-shirt with a character on it, and the colours are just wrong. They're either completely wrong, just the wrong colours, or just off. Like the skin is a really wrong tone of skin colour, whatever. That's what these look like. So I was thinking, hey, make them pink and cool and whip power. But they just look like bootleg Ed, and Eddie, which is a shame. The creator, Danny Antanucci, he's on Instagram. I don't know if he follows me, but we've shared a couple of comments, mostly in regards to that print. I did the painting with the print with the Johnny I painted by hand in front of the print. And I was thinking, I could get hold of him and be like, yo, man, let's make an Ed, and Eddie comic. I'll do a bunch of drawings, send them to him, be like, listen, I want to draw an Ed, and Eddie comic, but make it like Ed, and Eddie, you can tell it's them, but drawn a little bit more in my own sort of style, whatever the fuck that means. And that'd be fun. And if I can get the creator of Ed, and Eddie to, you know, back me on it or whatever, or to write the fucking thing, that'd be fucking cool, wouldn't it? That'd be a feather in my cap. Yeah, well, what have you done lately? Oh, you know, an Ed, and Eddie comic, an official one with the creator, the original creator of Ed, and Eddie. And people would lose their fucking minds. Had they minds to lose to begin with, the dumb shits, the lot of them. By which I mean all of humanity except me. I'm the only smart one. I figured everything out because I'm intelligent, because I knew what a Wolverine was from a young age. You can tell the high energy taste, can't you? Compared to, like, I don't know, last week. Boo, 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 boo. This is for a commission. Tu pes e commission el tu cuatro X-Men Wolverine. I went from French to I don't know, Mexican. Wolverine. No, Indian. Hey, Wolverine! I give you $5, Wolverine. Now I'm just being racist for no reason. Well, not racist. I'm being unnecessarily racial. Racial. I'm being unnecessarily Rachel. What? You know, some days when I do these podcasts, I worry. I'm like, shit, I've got nothing to talk about. There's a few things. I don't take notes like I should. I know I take a lot. I love fucking notes. I've got notes all over coming out my fucking asshole. I've got all these fucking post-it notes. They're fucking everywhere. So many notes. But I don't take any relevant ones. I was out earlier today doing my little shoppy shop, taking a walk, and I thought of a really, not really good, just a subject I could talk about on the podcast. I was thought about it, and I thought, hey, that would be relevant to the podcast. And then I forgot by the time I got home because I didn't write it down. Sometimes I do write things down, like while I'm out and about. I'll whip out my phone, put a little note on the notes. Today I did not do that, so I forgot what the fuck I had in mind to talk about. But yeah, some days, so I worried, like, oh shit, I've got nothing to talk about. But then some days, apparently, if I've got energy, I just chat absolute shite. And sometimes, maybe, to me at least, that's more entertaining. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I feel like it is. Look at Wolverine's claws. Beast and Wolverine have very similar, like, head shapes. This is Beast. And this is Cyclops. I hate Cyclops. He's such a fucking... such a leader character. Which I know is, like, the point. But he's so uninteresting. Like, whenever... the commission is... The guy wants it to be, you know, based on, like, old 90s cartoon X-Men. The good versions, you know. Those are the best ones. I'd watch those. Play the video game. I draw them all the time. Loved them. Bloody loved them. So when watching that cartoon, whenever there was a Cyclops episode, or even in the newer cartoons, because you get certain episodes based on, or like focused around certain characters every now and again. So Cyclops would have his episodes, and they're always the most boring ones. I don't give a fuck about him. Oh, he was in high school, and then, oh no, he got the problem with his eyes, and oh no, I can't open my eyes. I have to wear these special glasses, otherwise I'll destroy everything. Oh my god, how do I live? And I know it's like about gay and trans, right? Which is brilliant. It's cool that there's a thing. But make more interesting characters than fucking Cyclops. But I guess you've got to have the dull characters to have the fun ones by contrast, haven't you? No one exists in a vacuum. You've got to kind of can't have good without bad, can't have bad without good. Well, I think that's a lie. You absolutely can. And it's a commission for the same guy who commissioned that big Spider-Man villains piece with the Green Goblin in the middle and the fucking all the like, not quite the Sinister Six, but you know, whatever. This one, I'll put it up if I can be fucked. Ba-da! Like Link when he finds shit in Zelda. Ba-da-da-da! You found the Triforce. Oh no, it exploded and we all died. That doesn't happen. I've played so little Zelda games because Zelda was a Nintendo and I rarely had Nintendo consoles. We always had Sega when I was growing up, and it wasn't like a choice. Like I want to get a Sega. It was just what my dad bought for us. And he bought because he played it himself, but he'd play like puzzle games because he was really good at puzzles. There's a game called Krusty's Funhouse. Krusty from The Simpsons, Krusty the Clown. It's like Krusty's Funhouse or something. And the whole point was Krusty's Funhouse has been infested with rats, and so each level you've got to trap the rats and then divert them into a rat squashing machine. And it was really, really fun. That was a fun game. And then the levels get more and more absurd and over the top and involved. and there's loads of rats coming from different places, and they all walk like lemmings across platforms, and you've got to like get blocks to put in the way to cover up holes that they don't fall in, and then divert them to like pipes that shoot them up with like fans. Air blows out and shoots them up onto ledges, so they walk down, so they all walk the same way, all into this rat mashing machine. And my dad completed that shit because my dad was the only person I've ever known to complete the game Tetris. I know. My first thought being, you can complete Tetris? I thought it was just an ongoing thing. You just play it when you're bored and then stop when something better comes up for you to do. Turns out you can actually complete it. And at the end of each level, because there are levels in Tetris, which was new information to me, you get like a little rocket ship made out of blocks, and then it blasts off, and then each rocket ship after each level or series of levels or whatever is bigger and bigger until at the end the big rocket blasts off and there's like a fireworks display and it's all, you know, pixels and shit. Back in the classic big grey Game Boy days. My dad is the only person I've known to ever fucking complete Tetris, which is a thing, because he's a taxi driver for most of his life. So he bought a Game Boy, because he bought Game Boys for me and my brothers for when we'd go see him, because we didn't see him all the time. But then when we went to see him, we'd have like Game Boys in the car, and he had the Sega he bought. He left it at his place, so it was there whenever we went to stay with him. So he got a Game Boy for himself because it had puzzle games like Tetris. So he'd sit in his taxi waiting for people to come and use the taxi, and he'd play Tetris and win Tetris. Fucking weird shit, man. And then he died, which was, you know, brilliant. Well, I don't mean actually brilliant. This is Gambit. Gambit was always a weird one. I didn't dislike him, but I didn't really like him. He was just sort of there. With his weird, like, what is it, Cajun accent? It sounded like French to me, where he'd be like, "Eh oui, mon ami, je te le pont." It's not how he talked at all, I don't think. He's got this weird fucking headscarf thing. Not even a headscarf. What is it? What does he wear? It's weird. It's like a mask with the front cut out. It's got a nice crop of hair, though. That could be fun to render in paint. So yeah, I've got a list of possible characters that the guy wouldn't mind seeing in a painted commission for him that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to pick, so Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit and Beast are like the four main ones he wants in there. And then as others, there's Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Jubilee, Psylocke and Bishop. So, I mean, the first four I'll easily fit in there. Probably Wolverine in the front, because that's just how it goes, isn't it? And then fit the others around him. I'm thinking I might do Cyclops just because I hate him, but, you know, he's like the guy, isn't he? He's Mr. X. Well, no, actually, I guess these days Wolverine is Mr. X-Men. But then Cyclops is like the leader of the team. Like when I think X-Men, Cyclops tends to be the one I think of first, and then Wolverine. But then Wolverine's like his own entity nowadays, isn't he? Nightcrawler, I like. Jubilee, and I might throw her in there, just have a bit more female representation, yeah? Because, you know, get a bit men-heavy, being X-Men. And all they used to be men, they're X-Men. All of the X-Men are trans. When I say things like that, it sounds like I'm taking the piss. I'm not. That's me saying all of the X-Men are trans, like, just as a matter of fact, like, sure, they might be trans, that's cool. I'm not. See, if I make fun of people, it's because they're fucking stupid and they do dumb, bad shit because of their being fucking stupid. Like a teacher getting mad at a child for suggesting a Wolverine is an actual living creature. That's fucking stupid, and that teacher is a fucking idiot, and fuck her in a stupid fucking flowery dress wearing, perm having, glasses wearing asshole. Fuck her. I don't give a shit. But I'm not about to just be like, all the X-Men are trannies. Wouldn't that be weird if they're all trans? I'm saying, hey, what if they were all trans? I mean, they're called the X-Men. Like, hey, that's a thing. I'll ignore the fact that in college, me and some friends were sat in one of the rooms next to a computer, and then while the lecturer was at the front just talking about fucking art history or some shit, one of my friends was on the computer making a poster where he took the X-Men logo and then around it put loads of like drag queens, just pictures of random drag queens off of the internet, and then it was the X-Men, and that's the sort of thing that, you know, that's still funny, I guess. There's nothing really hurtful about that, is there? No, that's allowed, yeah. That's not harmful, that's fine. He wasn't going, look at these queers dressing up as women. It was just, hey, X-Men, it's like they used to be men. Oh, comics for days! We got comics for days! Days! Like chicken for days from the BoJack the Horseman. Back in the 90s, I was in a very terrible classroom, and I got yelled at for saying Wolverine. So I got these last month. They're putting out because they got the rights. The artist and writer of Zombies vs. Robots being Ashley Wood, the artist, and Chris Battle Real, the writer. They got the rights back to their work from IDW, so they're re-releasing it with a little bit of new content in the back. And now it's the newer one. Oh, put the other comic to the side because whatever. And it's the. I didn't realise Zombies vs. Robots was that short. So there's this issue, which is the first bit of Zombies vs. Robots, and then I don't know if it says to be continued, but and so it begins. So this is like the preamble, and then the story proper. And this is a really neat little extra story, which fucking you've seen last week's episode. And then this one is the rest of the story, and including its end and leading into Zombies vs. Robots versus Amazons. And I didn't realise that was it. I always felt like Zombies. It's a bit of a thicker issue. You can feel it. But, yeah, man. Zombies vs. Robots. It's good shit. I love like this. It looks like it's out of a sketchbook, but it's an actual comic page, and it's got enough. You're not sure what's going on. It's just a guy in a coat and a hat. His boots clopping along. And then you see this. So that's really good. That's a really good reveal, because it starts quite basic, quite like whatever. It's a nice painting, obviously. Zombies and a robot. And like with the halo, it's almost like a biblical saint-like painting. So it's got this quite bare, not much going on, but then the reveal of what's actually going on. The fucking Ghost in the Machines, this blasted urban landscape, all these destroyed buildings, all the debris. And I love about this comic especially that it's quite harsh lines, very scratchy looking. It's not like drawn all the windows and bits of cables and, you know, rebar and concrete chunks and stuff. It's just like make the marks to indicate what's there, as opposed to painstakingly render everything that should be seen on the page. And then there's zombies, and the guy is here like, what do I do? And the zombies attack the guy and bite into him, and he pulls his head off because he's a robot man. Whoa! That's another cool reveal. And then I like this, where it's just punch, slap, chop, punch, kick, tear apart, pulling his body into pieces, and then stamp on the head, and it all goes black. And then it goes to the Australian Broadcasting Authority. They're in Australia. I should read this whole thing with an Australian accent. Would the robots have Australian accents? I don't know. I like these panels. I love they don't have panel borders, but especially in like these ones, where it's just using the duotone dots to create the panel itself. I'd love to see just the inks of that, because that's got to be like so sparse in terms of actual drawing. like that. But that's what makes this comic really good, is it's a quick... The story is a quick rush, like adrenaline-fueled story for the most part, especially like the fights and stuff. And so it doesn't make sense to like crosshatch every fucking inch of it. Quick drawings, quick drawings, quick drawings. Like I love these like background, they're just like doodles, little scribbles indicating robot, robot, zombie, zombie, robot. Just the most basic shapes, and I love that in comics. Because I think there is a thinking of comics of like you have to be at a certain level to make comics, you know, especially in terms of like Marvel DC. They have standards, like the pricks they are. But it's really cool to see a fantastic artist doing shit like that in a comic that's really, really good. Because he also does shit like this, which is really, really cool. And he knows what he's doing in terms of form and just drawing as a thing. And this is really cool. Well, they've got the last human baby alive. And then this robot is shooting up this zombie. Blam! And this bit of blood, of zombie blood, flies up. And this, so you can imagine the camera quickly swapping like whoosh, to the blood flying up into the air, and then flip again to the baby's face going, wah, wah, and then the doctor robot just looking there like blinking as much as robots can, and then back to the blood flying up, and the baby's mouth, and the blood, and the baby's eye, and the blood, and the baby's mouth, and the blood, and the baby's mouth, and the blood, and the robot's eye, and the blood, and the baby's mouth, and the blood, and the robot's eye, and the blood, and the baby's mouth, and the robot, and the blood, and the blood, and the blood, and the baby's mouth, and the blood with a skull on it going into the baby's mouth, and the baby goes, and then the baby's just there like, and then the robot doctor is saying bugger, and it's really like the shape of the blood drop as it's like flying through the air this way, and then orbs again as it comes downwards into this drop into the baby's mouth. So now the last human baby has just swallowed a drop of zombie blood. Next, the end. Great covers. Love the paintings. Again, obviously very quick, loose paintings. There's a drawing of a dick in there. That's quite funny. And now the baby's turning into a zombie, and all mankind are zombies, and the robots are trying to fight him off. Some really cool pages and panels. Like not even panels, just drawings on a page. In a sequence, creating a story. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Do love these speech bubbles with pictures in them instead of words. Batteries, brains. Is that the same thing? Who knows? The zombie baby. No. It gets its head blown off by, is it Bertie? Yeah, Bertie, Mark 6. Advanced model, my ass. That's such a good pose. Like that would be a cool pose on a person, but to have that on a robot with a skull painted on its front and everything. The arms are so solid looking, so solid crew. The hands, again, solid robot hands with the gun. So good. And then he shoots the robot doctor. What's going on? It's gone crazy. And then he goes into this bit, hits the big red button, a total reboot of the Earth. The missiles launch, and this is obviously the radar system or whatever, letting you know the nukes are firing from everywhere to everywhere. And the zombies there like, as the missiles fire. And then, da-boom. Now that's cool. That's a really cool double page spread, cool painting. But I feel like it's a little bit not contrast enough. Like if there was some harsher lines and some black just like in the corners. Because it almost, you could go past that thinking it's just like a chapter divider page. I mean, you can see obviously it's a mushroom cloud, but like it's a little bit faint maybe. But then it's the blast and the light and the heat. So I'm not Ashley Wood. What the fuck do I know? And then there's the robot still alive. What's that? There's still zombies out there. What? And that's that. Oh no, a zombie washed up on an island. Sniff, sniff. Meat? Pock. Got a pole through its head. Another one. This will never do. Zombies versus robots versus Amazons. Go. And maybe they'll release that next month. That would be cool. More painted covers. And then bonus content, which is one of the main reasons I bought this. I had a little look through it. It's okay, but I feel like maybe they left out a page that they didn't mean to. I'm not entirely sure. That's a really cool drawing of like a zombies, robots, Amazons vase. That's really, really cool. So there's like this almost Sunday comic strip sort of thing. 4 fine days during the zombie robot war. And there's day 1 in a laboratory. I found the serum for the zombie virus. If this works, I'll be a millionaire. And he pours it on him, and he goes ping, 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 and he's back to human. And then ping, and his head blows up, and he's like, oh, that didn't work. And then 1 day in an R&D, research and development. Your month of living inside the laboratory waiting for me to perfect your weaponry is over. I've finally done it. Look, the perfect zombie brain-shattering firearm. We're going to win this war. Here, see for yourself. Blam! Shoots the researcher in the face. See, it's funny little like comic strips like you'd see in the newspaper. And then 1 early day in the field. I tell you, the zombie, this zombie-like virus is puzzling. I don't know if humanity will ever learn the answers. I don't know if humanity will ever learn the answers to these complex questions, like the foremost question, for example, does the zombie virus spread into other living creatures upon infection or die off? So they're dangling a pig over the zombie to see if it gets infected. The zombie bites the pig's face off, I guess, and then the pig becomes a zombie. And then the robot's about to shoot the pig. Or question number 2. And then there's the vase. I don't know if that's meant to... but it's like... because it says 4 fine days during the zombie robot war. 1, 2, 3. And there's no 4th day. There's just a vase. And that's left... like the first question was, does the zombie virus spread to living creatures or die off? And question number 2, there is no question number 2, and there's no 4th day. I don't know. Maybe it was a mistake, maybe it's not. Ashley Wood gets a little bit weird with his stuff sometimes, so maybe that was intentional. But that's cool. I'm glad I got that. This is an extended look, I guess, because we've also got this. Issue 1. I guess they're revamping the Amazing Spider-Man series. I don't know if that's what they're doing, like revamping it from the start totally, or if it's just a certain series they're doing. 60 years celebrating. But it's John Romita Jr. back on Spider-Man for the first time in an amount of time. I don't know how long. But I saw this was happening through social media and such, that John Romita Jr. was doing another Spider-Man comic, a fresh, brand new Spider-Man comic with one of my all-time favourite Spider-Man artists. A lot of people dislike him. They dislike his proportions and blockiness of his artwork. Frankly, they're entitled to their opinions, however wrong they might be. So I picked this up. It's a good comic book day. Any day you get 2 pretty decent comic books. Not that this is necessarily decent. It might just be a Spider-Man comic book. I'll probably never read it. But that's quite a cool opening. Outside York, Pennsylvania, a giant crater. What the fuck's going on? Spider-Man all beaten and torn up in pain. And then, 6 months later. Queens. May I stop, Peter? Stood by as he I flipped through this earlier. It appears to be fairly standard John Romita Jr. artwork, but a little bit less so. Like it looks like the colorist is doing a lot of work. Maybe, like, I don't know. It's quite a long book. It's another thicker issue. Like I don't know if it's double sized or something because it's the first one. So he obviously had to draw quite a lot for this book. Well, no, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just a John Romita Jr. comic. It's not like an outstanding John Romita Jr. comic. That's pretty cool. I like it. I think I just like how chunky everything looks. Sometimes when you're drawing comics, it's so easy to like make shit bend all over the place and look weird and off. But all of his characters feel very solid, and I like that. And as I've said before, it's almost his artwork is almost a really decent like how to draw superheroes and shit just by looking at it. It's a really good different head shapes and things. I love when he draws thugs, big blocky heads, because he draws fairly blocky looking people. So when he draws someone who's supposed to be big and blocky, I'd like to see him do Sin City, to do Marv from Sin City. That'd be a cool one because his line work would work really well for like the stark black and white Sin City kind of look. Even if it was just like a couple of pin-ups or a few pages or something. It'd be pretty fun to see. Pretty fun to see. It's not a fantasy, it's a fantasy. You stole from us, man. I needed your help. You needed people to look the other way while you screwed your life up. We were supposed to let it happen. Whatever, I'm not doing this. I've got to check on a friend. I have no idea what's going on. FYI. Do I ever? No. Spider-Man does things, spider things. This is not one of JRJR's best Spider-Man poses. It's not bad. Like, it's good enough. It does what it needs to do in the comic and stuff, but it's like, I don't know, this join feels a little bit weird and weak. The leg, maybe it's going back so it would look smaller, but it almost looks a little bit too small. I don't know. I just feel like he's done a lot better. And I like that he's just chilling on the top of the car to go along for the ride. That's a cool landing pose. And that's a cool panel, actually, where he lands on the top of the car and you can see the people in the car. A bit weird that one's just sat in the middle. I don't know. You wouldn't really sit like that, would you? The weird rabbit lady. Fuck knows what she's doing. A goblin glider? Where'd she get that from? Jesus. I've no idea who this guy is, this green guy. It's a bust. Digger! I guess his name's Digger. He digs. I don't know. A cool couple of panels there. Like same viewpoint, but just the hands coming up and then Spidey getting yanked down into whatever they're in. A van? Is he on top of a van? Maybe. He pulled his fucking fingers off. What the fuck? Web action. Pew. I do wonder about this, like if those lines are drawn in black ink and then the colorist makes them white, because it doesn't look like they'd be drawn in white, because a lot of this is white. It would be white space on the page, so they can't really be white. Or if just the colorist adds the webs in afterwards. Question mark? I don't know. These are the moments I like about JRJR's work. It's nothing profound and amazing, but he's got a very good sense of drawing people. That's why he worked quite well for Kick-Ass, which I've said before, some of his artwork in that wasn't necessarily great, but it's like it does the job. He tells the story he needs to tell. So I like JRJR's fight scenes. I like how chunky and solid everything feels. But I like these bits because this is what you need to be able to do when you draw comics, is draw people talking for pages and pages. It's fucking tiring and annoying to have to do, but you've got to do it. And he does it well. And he doesn't seem to shy away from it. Where, you know, he's not drawn a shitload of detail, but like he draws enough of the environment to fucking whatever. You get it. Boom. I understand the sound effect, but I would rather have seen this page without the sound effect, without the blur effects, because this is fairly solid looking, and then here is like a blur, like a motion blur, which they did on when he jumped on the car, whenever that was. Like here, so this is all motion blurred, which fine, totally fine. Impression of movement. It's computers, you do whatever. But on a drawing like this, that's half a page or more. I want to see the drawing, like, you know. And that the badoom takes up a little bit of, I don't know. Just would have been nice to see a drawing of a house blowing up. Whatever. It's raining. Get in. Also, I like that, again, I don't know how long it's been since he drew Spider-Man and Peter Parker in comics. But they look exactly as I remember them looking in his older comics. That face is a little bit... but in general, especially from profile, like the hairline and everything, it looks like exactly how I remember JRJR's Spider-Man and Peter Parker looking. So that's cool too. That is not like he hasn't gotten sloppy or anything. What's that? Is this the sort of thing? Is she married to some other guy and she's got kids with him? And then Peter Parker, she saw Peter Parker outside. She's with a guy named Paul. Is his name like Paul Perker or something? So what's this thing? So he's calling her and she's like, "You've got to stop this. MJ, please, I'm not trying to... Don't call me again." What? Shit's going down. They're not married anymore. I'm so out of the loop of Spider-Man and what the fuck's going on. I don't know. Issue 2. Maybe I should actually read it and find out. Oh, something's happening. Is that an octopus, Dr. Octopus hand? It is. My mind is alight and alive, Dr. Octavius, and hungry. Oh, so hungry. That looks like an alien or something. And they've got Otto Octavius in some kind of containment device. Oh my god! Well, I didn't get very far on my X-Men. On my X-Mans. Well, I didn't get very far on my X-Mans, did I? Not that that was necessarily the point. This is obviously just... I'm just... As I did with this Spider Villains, I needed to see if I could actually draw the fuckers. So that's all this is. These are mostly from memory. I vaguely know what Wolverine looks like. Cyclops. Beast. I know what Beast looks like. It's just a big blue man. Big smurf. Big furry fur smurf. A smurf. And so I'm drawing them to see if I can draw them. And then afterwards I'll figure out the positions in which to put them in the final painting. And then I'll start final painting the painting. Eventually. And I'll do it the same way, which seemed to work quite well, rather than try to paint the entire thing in one go. Do it one character at a time. And then build it up. Over time. Sorry, I've got gas. I feel like I'm going to burp. I don't know what's happening. You see, I've really dark, just black hair. You might not, but it might work if I do that. Yeah, they've got really similar shaped heads. I was going to say that before, wasn't I? They've both got these bits here above the head, and then the especially when he's got his mask off, the mutton chops, the sideburns, whatever. I never quite understood why Beast was a thing. It seemed so out of place. You've got guy that shoots lasers, guy that has claws. There's Ice Man, Fireman, Flyman, Angel, Flying Man, and then you've got Blue Hairy Man. Just wait, what? He's a blue hairy man. He's like a beast, but a non-specific animal type creature man, like a bear or some fucking jackal or something. But there's already a character called Jackal, so fuck knows what they're going to do about that guy. X. All of their belts should have this. That. See, I draw it in one go, easy. Oh, it's stupid. I can't. There you go. They should all have that, because that would be funny. That would make me laugh for 0.5 a second. Pants, legs. This is Nightcrawler, who I know this isn't an accurate drawing, but I know he's got curly hair. I think he's got big pointy ears, like big elf ears. And then I just gave him curly hair, like a big. That's actually the exact haircut my stupid teacher had when she was telling me a Wolverine isn't an actual creature. And then he's got a tail. Let's put his tail here. And I think his tail's got this thing on the end of it, but I could be wrong. Again, it's all from memory. I don't know anything. And I was drawing Rogue because I've got to do some women, so I was going to give her big tits. Rogue with big tits in her skin tight costume with a little jacket. And if I give her the jacket, but make it sexy, I make the jacket really short so it comes to about here instead of here or something, because that's sexier, I guess, or something. I don't know. That's the soundtrack to the old cartoon. X-Men. 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 She's got a black headband and then white hair in the front. I can't draw hair for shit. This is me drawing hair. And then like reddish brown hair in the back. Oh, I'd give it one in the back. Ugh! And she's got like a yellow stripe down the front of her ridiculously tight suit. A belt with the classic thing on it. I might actually just put that in the painting and see if the guy goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" I get that, okay, there is an X on it. You've done that on their belts, but then what's this? Why have you drawn a tiny little house on these X-Men's bodies? Because it's fucking funny, is why, you piece of shit. Also, thank you for commissioning me a lot. You're not actually a piece of shit. I'm so very, actually, genuinely grateful. I don't know if it's just me, but like when he was saying, I want like the 90s versions of the X-Men, I replied to him saying, "Oh, cool, yeah, I love those. Those are my favourites. Bloody yeah." And then he was like, "Are you being sarcastic?" And then I had to tell him, no, like I'm being very, very genuine. I love those. I love the cartoon, the video games, the whole shit. So is it just me that like whenever if I say something genuine, you assume it's sarcastic? You assume I'm just being a fucking turd? Or is that a him problem? He just doesn't trust people. I don't know, who's to say. That's a pretty decent hand. Came out quite good, didn't it? Yeah, nice big tits on Rogue. I'm not actually going to give her huge cans on the paint. I might. Fuck it. See how I feel at the time. I'll give her indentations. I'll make it look like she's got nipples. Little shadows where her nipples are poking through. And a big shadow where her big fat pussy is. That's unnecessary. It's also too low. Let's put that in shadow because that's silliness. Come on, Ewan, you big silly Billy. Silly Billy by Philly Banana Banner. Does the jacket have short sleeves or long sleeves? I'm going to need to do some Googling, which is part of the fun of a project like this. Being like, you do it from memory, and then you Google image everything, and you go, oh, I got this wrong, and 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 this wrong. And then you pray that people don't find out that you're a fraud, and you try to convince them that you can actually draw and you do actually know things. You're not a stupid idiot. Not all the time, anyway. Just mostly. We get at least tidy up Mr. Wolvie a little bit. You know, for the thumbnail. Got to have something to show, haven't I? It's all well and good doing the doodles, but it'd be nice to actually have something to show for spending the best part of an hour apparently drawing. But evidently doing fuck all, just talking about a shitty teacher the entire time. Remember that time when my teacher... I spoke about recently on Instagram with regards to... Where is he? I don't know what's happened. I'm losing it. I lost it. I never had it. What the fuck? This guy. How the rough... Like, I love how this looks. It's not great, but it's like... I don't know, the Tipp-Ex on the hands to tidy them up a little bit. Like, I want to do, like, looser, more lively paintings and shit. But I get so scared that they'll look garbage or people will see through it. It'd be like... They'll think it's unfinished or that I didn't try as hard because it looks maybe messier or whatever. I'm not actually going to do Wolverine's things like this. This is just for the sketchbook. So yeah, when it comes to doing like this X-Men painting, I'd love to like get the paper quickly in like marker pen, like ballpoint, just rough blocks where the characters are going to go. Marker pen sketch the characters' shapes and clothing items, so I know what I'm painting, and then like loosely and quickly paint everything in and see how it comes out. But I don't have the confidence in myself to do that. Like I know I can draw, but when it comes to like another step further and I could experiment. There's no reason I can't experiment. I just got to take the time to do it, you know. It's a personal thing I'm going to try to work on. Like I say, or not like I say, like I've been doing, having more time in my sketchbook, playing a little bit more. So hopefully I can carry that on and like experiment a bit more. Like actually play with painting and drawing instead of just doing it all the time because I'm supposed to. Maybe that'll happen. I'll do some experimenting with like, maybe I'll just paint a picture with a couple of X-Men, like quite loosey-goosely, just to see how it might look. And if it comes out well, then maybe I'll do that for the commission. I did that because the same guy who's commissioned me to do a bunch, so that's why I say I'm very, very grateful for him. He commissioned me to do a Toxic Avenger painting. And that one I did a bit looser, a bit more bold, like brush blobs and strokes as opposed to like finely blending and rendering everything. And I was really happy with how that one came out. And that made a lot of sense because it's like the Toxic Avenger, so it was supposed to be kind of messy and stuff. But yeah, I was really happy with the result of that. And it's like, there's no reason I can't continue that. You know, with paintings like this one, the X-Men and whatnot. And there's so many artists that do it. Like, you know, one that comes to mind, Bill Sienkiewicz. Some of his paintings are wild, messy, you know, the shit all over the place. But he clearly does it with like a lot of skill and knowledge. Like he knows what he's doing and where he's putting shit. So it comes out good. So it's not like it's a new thing, a new idea to have like a slightly messier, looser looking painting. Because there are people that do it and there are people that do it well, but there's also people that do it badly. But I guess the people that do it badly you don't see too much of because who wants to fucking look at that shit? I was going to say I do like brush pens, but it's another thing of like, I feel like if I use brush pens too much, people will be like, what's Ewan doing? What happened to all the ballpoint and the boo? I care too much about what people think. With regards to my art, that's the important thing to me is my art. So when people have something to say about it, it can affect me as much as I don't want to admit it. So if people start being like, I liked Ewan's art when it was all ballpoint work, but now it's all this ink heavy brush lines and shit, it's not as good. Which I'm sure they wouldn't, because, you know, I'm fucking good at drawing. I'm amazing. So I don't see how anyone could have anything bad to say about anything I do. That's how his claws look when they're facing the camera. I know what I'm doing. I'm not a fraud. I don't have imposter syndrome. Shut up. You're an imposter. What is this? Among Us? Jesus. Got to give him the hairy arms. Yeah, that's how I show hair. Don't know why he's got hair coming out the top of his mask. That's just silly. Do-do-do-do-do. 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 Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. And see, he's supposed to be like leaning forward. That's why his body's so short. But it just looks like his body's so short. It doesn't necessarily look like he's leaning forward. So maybe that's a bit of a failure on my part. That's something I need to work on, among everything else. Hey, beastie boy. Shall I draw several of Beast? 3 of them, and then title it The Beastie Boys. Oh, I'm not doing better than that. That'll do. Ewan, play us out.